I'm going to call the meeting to order. Chief Sutherland, could you please lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, everyone. We're going to look first at the agenda. I'm going to apologize. There's a typographical error in there. It is entirely my fault. We are not approving minutes from the July 28th meeting. We are actually approving minutes from the August 25th and August 28th meetings. I will take those in order. Have you all had an opportunity to look at the minutes from the I'm sorry, gosh, it's not from the August 25th meeting of this year?
Yes.
Do you have any questions, comments, concerns, additions, redactions? May I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes from the August 25th, 2025 board meeting as presented?
I motion to accept the minutes for the August 25th meeting as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. All right, moving now to the August 28th meeting. Those were not part of your original board book, but I had ensured that they were printed out and placed before you in advance of this meeting. Have you all had an opportunity to look at the meeting minutes from the August 28th, 2025 special meeting of the Board of Directors?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Do any of you have anything to discuss about those minutes? Any concerns, issues, changes? May I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes of the special meeting from August 28th, 2025 as presented?
I'll move to approve the special meeting. August 28th, 2025. As presented in the study.
May I have a second, please?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries.
Sandy?
Yes, ma'am.
Roll call, please.
Miss Secretary, would you please do the roll call? Thank you.
Sandy Smith,
I'm present, I think.
Scott Dorman.
Here.
Ryan Leahy,
Here.
Jeff Robbins,
Here.
John Smith.
Here.
Thank you. Okay. Now there are members, sorry. Thanks. All right, if you all had an opportunity to look at the revised agenda that is before you, that the only revision to the agenda is that we did look at the minutes from August 25th and August 28th, 2025. One being a regularly scheduled board meeting on August 25th, the other a special board meeting on August 28th. Have you all had a chance to look at the agenda as modified?
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions, concerns, or comments about the agenda? May I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried. All right, we do have members of the public here, and I want to offer any of you who are present an opportunity to make comment. Is there anyone who would like to make a comment?
We probably have some Zoom people as well.
Well, yeah, being present in both places. Does anyone want to?
There's two people on Zoom and they can raise their hand if they want to. I don't think they have anything.
All right. All right, so we'll move to the items of business and turn first to the financial matters. Why don't I let you start, and then we'll have Ryan go through the paid bills. Is that what it says?
Marvelous. Well, thank you, board chair, members of the board. Nice seeing everybody. My back is finally at a point where I can actually leave the house, so it's nice to be able to get out and see you guys. Couple of small items I wanted to bring up with you. If you turn to page 5. Here's the income statement. So this is the rolled up summary version. As you've requested, we have the summary and then we have the detail. Couple of things that obviously jump out to me, probably jump out to you guys. This is a trend that we've actually been seeing since we've been with you guys, and it looks like year to date as well. So we are under budget on our revenue. Most of that is down to our sales tax and our 1A sales tax. Those are the major reasons that you're seeing that 65,000 under budget. The good news is we're also under budget on our expenses for the month of August. And then if you scroll to page 13, which is there you go. So this is year to date. So this is through January through August. So a majority of the year now we've actually completed and we're reporting to you. As I mentioned, similar trend, right, to we saw in the month. So our revenue is 288,000 under budget. Most of that is again down in the sales tax area. And then we're also under budget on our expenses. We're 268,000 under budget. Couple of items that are over budget. Vehicles and equipment is one of our major categories that are over. That was down to the support vehicle purchase and work on a support vehicle. And then under managerial, there's some legal fees that are over budget, as well as an impact fee, which is under accounting, not with us, but there was an impact fee that was also done. So those are really the only items that I'm seeing that were over budget on our expenses. Again, it's a trend that we're seeing. We did spend a couple of hours today going over budget. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to sleep, but next month, the excitement of going through the budget with us, I'm sure will keep you awake all month. But we're excited to present that draft budget to you guys, and we'll happily answer any questions you may have. I kind of wanted to say that because next year we would have been more involved with the budget when we're reporting next year. So we'll have a better idea of some of the differences that we're seeing actual to budget. But as I said, the trends are pretty clear. We're seeing a variance under on revenue and expenses. And we'll happily answer any questions you may have.
And I'll recognize any board member who has any questions. Anyone?
I had one question about an expense for the dive team. It was, I didn't know what that was for. It was like 380% over the budget.
What page is it?
It was number 52,590 was the account number. But I
I
didn't
know that we had some purchases for some new Swiftwater suits. I would assume that those probably from Dive Rescue International, but it should go in there.
I saw that, but it wasn't budgeted for that, so I don't know why it wasn't budgeted. But that's all like extra expense, so.
We might be able to turn to chief about that, but I think that they found some damage to equipment or something they had replaced.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, there was some.
Yeah, we've had multiple suits that were damaged, trainings and rescues that we've had. We've been needing some new equipment for quite a while. So I'm not sure if it's just not in the correct budget line, if that's what you're
Yeah.
referencing, or yes, because we don't have a dive team anymore, it's just a
Right.
Swiftwater, but it might all be going into the same account.
Okay. The other question I had was, it seems like there's a lot of contingencies. Like there's a contingency fund for training division, contingency fund for support services. Why do we have so much money in contingencies?
So I'm going to answer it kind of twofold. We did not do this budget that you're
Understood.
referencing. I will say that I think as a district, it's important to understand that you need reserves because you're not a city or a town that you have other departments that you can pull from. So you are standalone, you have to be able to survive on your, there's nowhere else you can go. So I can understand why there would be contingencies put in a budget. Quite honestly, we try and not have contingencies in our budget. We try and have savings that we can use if we need to.
Right.
So we'll work obviously with the team to make sure that we limit the contingencies that we have in the budget for next year. Again, that's why we have reserves. But again, I can understand why there would be them in this year's budget.
Any, does anyone else have a question? Would like to? I understand that you need to leave after this report.
That is okay.
So you're welcome to do so,
Thank you.
unless you might want to stay just through Ryan's report, and then you're welcome to leave at your leisure.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so, keep pointing this way, right here next to me. Yeah. You used to be, last meeting you were there. All right. Anyway, treasurer's report.
Just basic bills going through. We've been watching and going through the stuff. We did find a couple more items that need to be shifted over to the 1A, but other than that, it was just basic bills.
And so, so you've approved the bills that are presented to us
I
here.
approved the bills that are presented today.
Does anyone have any questions of Brian relative to the bills that were paid, the monthly disbursements? Can I have a motion, please, to approve the paid bills, the monthly disbursements is presented in the board book?
I do have a question, is that this monthly disbursements at the end of the financial document, is that what we're approving here? It's like page 23.
Read forward, yes.
Yeah, page 20, yeah, the tiny little print. Yeah, 23, page 23 forward is all of the paid bills. So that was at the end of your board book,
Yeah, I do. Make sure.
right?
Okay.
So, any other questions about the monthly disbursements? Last month's disbursements, may I have a motion to approve those, please?
I'll move to approve the monthly disbursements as presented in this document for August.
May I have a second? please?
Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried. And you are welcome.
Thank you. Try and sleep through the excitement. of the-
And we will do that. Okay, so the next item up for discussion is that, as noted a little bit earlier, we are about to enter the period of doing our budget, and we need a subcommittee of the board to work with our accounting firm and our staff to prepare that budget. It needs to be approved by this board by October 15th, so we're going to need to have a meeting between now and then, obviously, to approve that budget. Can I think I would like to discuss who ought to be on that board, but I would suggest that the best choices are obviously our treasurer, who is knee deep in finances, and our board vice president, who has been a fire chief before and has handled budgets for special districts before. So could I have a discussion on that subject? Can any of you?
Sandy,
Yes.
can Ben offer a little
Can I
clarification?
just clarify to the minute? So we don't have to approve by October 15th. We just have to have provided you a draft.
Oh.
So you
okay.
actually have to approve in December.
So we don't need to meet before October 15th.
I mean, if you guys want to meet, you can, but we have to provide it to you as a board so you can see it as a draft.
And don't we have to provide it to the public though prior to us approving it?
Yeah, so once you've accepted the draft in October, that's when the public get to see that
Okay.
draft. And then in
That's what will be
December,
published in the paper for the late October, late November, and then for the adoption in December.
So it's acceptable then to review that budget or approve it at the end of October. The draft budget that comes to us from the
Yeah,
subject.
you don't have to approve the draft.
Okay,
It's the final approval in December.
it's presented to us then.
that's the,
And it's-
that's the exact words. It has to be presented to you as well.
All right, so it's going to be presented to us and it's acceptable for that to take place at the end of October. It does not have to occur by October 15th.
It has to happen by October 15th. You have to have been presented a draft by October 15th.
Then we do need to meet. We do need to meet before October 15th because it needs to be presented to us before. then.
All
Right.
All right, so the only correction really is not that okay, we do need to meet before October 13th. But first, let's.
15th.
Yeah, but so October 13th is a Monday, so I was kind of thinking that that might be the best time. But I was gonna propose that after the door, so we can do it either day. So can we go back to the discussion of which of our board members would be on the subcommittee, the budget subcommittee, to work with our accountants and staff on preparing the budget to be presented before October 15th?
Yeah, I can't find any fault in your logic, having Ryan and Scott, who's dealt with these budgets before, be on that committee.
Agreed.
You do?
I'd be
Okay.
happy to serve on.
Will you do it?
subcommittee. Absolutely.
And I know you will. Okay.
I will, and we would need to meet and we'll have to have
Like soon.
soon, at least have one budget session, work session with the accountant.
Yeah.
At some point before that time, so,
Agreed.
You mean the full board or the?
no,
just the sub-
just a subcommittee.
Gotcha.
You guys get double the excitement.
I was going to
We
say,
do.
we have to have two of them. Okay. All right, well, can I have a motion to approve the creation of a board subcommittee for the presentation of the budget and work on the budget? That would consist of our treasurer Ryan Leahy and our vice president Scott Dorman.
I'll move to form a budget subcommittee consisting of our treasurer Ryan Leahy and vice president Scott Dorman. Developing budget.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carried. I did say aye, it just was super quiet ayes. Okay, so, then because we're meeting, we need to meet before, October 15th. I was going to propose that we meet at our usual Monday time at 4:30, but on October 13th. To have the budget presented to us. Can you all take a look at the calendars and see if that's doable for you?
I will be in Hawaii.
Can you participate by Zoom?
Be traveling back that day, so I can't probably look at my flight. And maybe up to my flight is.
Will be in the afternoon.
4:30 the usual time.
Yes, I should be able to, shouldn't be a problem. Overnight,
Yes, yes.
get at the airport.
If he has it looking for you over there, you okay?
Yeah,
Jeff? You okay on that date?
Yeah.
Okay.
13th at 4:30, right?
All right, so I'll ask the secretary to please note the schedule coming that we will hold the board meeting at 4:30 PM on Monday, October 13th. Given the fast paces that's and the speed with which we are, and I'll get to this later, but dealing with some of the employment issues that we've been facing, I would like to recommend that we consider going back to our every 2 week schedule. That does not obligate you guys over there to suddenly make reports every 2 weeks, okay? Can stay with your once a month schedule, but I think the work of the board is such that we've had a lot of things we've been sort of deferring to later that might be a good idea to start working on. How do you all feel about that? Board members.
well, I think the holidays are gonna get in there too. Couple of months, so we'll have to keep that in. I'm okay with meeting 2 times, but you know, the budget, we've got time limit on that, so we have to get that. And after
So
the
be the
budget is
second and the
approved,
fourth.
and then the budget is sent to the county on the 15th of December. And then we're basically through with the budget. So
And
then we got holidays, so.
yeah, we also have some additional things that we'll be needing to address between now and probably next month, or at least by the end of November. So are you all okay with going to the second and fourth Mondays
I think
for a
meeting-
while as we get through some of this?
I think meeting twice a month is probably a good idea with some of the challenges we have ahead, so. Yeah. I'm cool with that.
So that would
And
be,
given the holidays, perhaps we could just say at each meeting, do we need to?
About whether or not we're gonna, yeah, right for
meet
now,
Twice next month or not.
do we really need to, or, does it fall, what date does it fall on?
At this point, it looks like for next month, we probably do.
Yes,
And then for November, we got Thanksgiving and.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to get.
so we'll look at the calendar again at the meeting at the end of October and kind of reassess where we are. That makes sense. How do you feel about that, Abby?
Good with it. I
Alright.
think, I don't think the holidays are gonna mess with any of the Mondays, but unless somebody's traveling for a week or something like that, but. I don't see a problem with
I won't be here for the, if we do it the 10th,
Okay, okay,
but we can discuss that.
we'll discuss it. Okay. Would you be able to, would you be able to do by Zoom?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Madam Secretary, could you make note of the new schedule of board meetings being the second and fourth Mondays of each month going forward? We will reassess at the meeting at the end of October. And I don't have that date off the top of my head, but it'll be the fourth Monday in October,
So,
27th, October 27th. I don't think we need a motion for that. We're just scheduling. All right, reports. Chief, 7 minutes.
Alrighty, let's see. We have officially launched the Sage to Tell program that is up on our members portal. Myself, Chief Dillingham and Chief Langhammer met with Red Cross representative to hear about some of the programs that they offer. And we found out that we actually have quite a few Red Cross volunteers in Estes Park that could respond at our request if needed. So we will be meeting with them next week here to just have some introductions and kind of find out what they can help us with and offer. We definitely talked to them about some smoke alarm programs and maybe getting some donations for next year's safety fair. So look forward to working with them. We've had, again, multiple community events this month. We just finished the homecoming bonfire and parade on the 18th and 19th of last week. They were both amazing, well attended. The bonfire is a huge event for the schools and a long tradition, so we were happy to facilitate that and have a really safe evening. So just a quick thank you to Nicole Friel, Sadie Morgan, Logan Lastly, Lieutenant Nathan Mellner, Lieutenant Ron Bukowski, and Captain Rick Spear for joining the bonfire, helping with that evening. And another thank you to Lieutenant Ron Bukowski and Gabe Greer for participating in the parade. Gabe drove our engine and Ron was in the battalion front to drive through the parade. So thank you to those guys. The community mitigation day was this past Saturday, which we'll hear more about in the prevention report. Next week, we have the middle school family night and egg drop. We'll be taking the ladder truck over to the rec center and assisting with their STEM family event. It's super fun. We put the ladder up and all of the students create some sort of device to protect an egg that's somewhere in the device, and then we drop it off the ladder to see if it survives or not. So it's a really fun event. I'm looking forward to it. So that's next week on the 26th. And then we had a request at the last meeting from our public comments to post our recordings of our business meetings on our website, which we have done. So that has been accomplished, and you can find those on the website.
Does that go, how far back does that go?
Right now, I think it's just the last couple of meetings, but we can make those changes.
Did we plan to go further back than that?
So I believe we only keep about 6 months of those recordings for the state requirements, so we can put them all on there if that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, I think we wanted that
Okay.
done when we were at one of the last meetings, I'm not sure which one it's at, but yeah, we'd like to
Okay.
have all of it. Obviously, there's one that needs to be edited,
Correct.
or just cut short. But, you know, we can notate why.
Yeah, we can make that happen, so. That's all I have at the moment.
Chief, I've got one question.
Yes, sir.
We used to keep Red Cross supplies here in the back room for years. And I know that went away several years ago. I was wondering if that's what they're looking at, is having a place where we could keep their emergency response.
You know, that wasn't a request. I'm not sure if we can facilitate any space currently. But no, they just wanted to meet and see what kind of things they could offer us, honestly. Was a big part of the conversation, and that we have volunteers in Estes Park that we can call that could get here quickly to facilitate any needs that we have. A big one is, helping families that have, house fire and with clothing and hotel stays and that kind of thing. So, they have a lot of really great programs. So I look forward to continuing to work with them, see how we can utilize some of their programs. So,
Any other questions for Chief Sargent? Chief Landcamer, are you okay to do that? Or could we switch, you want us to switch to,
I'm good.
you all good?
Figured
Okay.
it out for me, so.
Yeah. All right, well then we'll hear next from you, please.
Ready for me?
Yes.
All right, wildland fire risk reduction educator is continuing to pile up the home assessments. Up to 178. He's done 13 neighborhood assessments here
That's
today
just this year.
this year.
Good job.
He's also presented at 10, or we've also presented at 10 HOA annual meetings so far. And Community Wildfire Mitigation Day was Saturday. If you have it memorized, you want to talk about it, Logan?
You're doing a great job.
We would love to hear you
Good.
talk about it.
I can, it's not allowed.
Go right ahead, it absolutely is.
No, it was great, great event. Yeah, Saturday, 9 to noon, we had our mitigation day where we were accepting pine cones and pine needles from community members. And so we had, 5 or 6 volunteers come out to assist with that, some of our auxiliary and some of the Watershed Coalition's auxiliary, or I guess not auxiliary for them, but just volunteers. We filled 2 full dumpsters full of pine cones and pine needles. So that was great. Told a uptick from last year's participation, which we're very happy about. We got, check in on this, chief. You should read the figures on that.
77 bags.
Yeah, 277 bags for pine cones and pine needles. Then we also took in an extra 66 bags from ELSA, which is Estes Land Stewardship Association, for their noxious weeds. And so we're happy to accommodate some of their overflow because they were doing the same event just across the street from us. Yeah, we got a lot of good contact hours, got a lot of good, contact with homeowners who are coming out and collecting some good stuff off their lawns. So successful event.
Thanks, Logan. Mitigation crews continuing to complete work at the fish hatchery work site, when time allows. Big news for us, Team Rubicon will be here October 2nd through the 5th to do mitigation work on the top of Prospect around the infrastructure up top. We're expecting around 40 volunteers for that event and looking forward to it. I think, also been successful in getting some donations and some meals provided for them. That's one of the things they asked. So there's been some good community members step up and say they're gonna help feed them. They have completed marking the trees in preparation for that. Can we talk about your stuff?
Yeah, go ahead.
Chief Sutherland keeps working on plan review experience as she can. Attending Fire Marshal Association meetings, with discussion of new legislation about fire codes, all that other stuff, so the other part of the job. Continuing inspections, mostly on new constructions and special events. There's some big stuff coming up, so there's been a lot of pre-app meetings talking about the Stanley projects and about some other projects. Chief Sutherland also attended a commercial plan review class to gain insights on difficulties with new commercial structures, how to implement appropriate code requirements. Also working on training new auxiliary members and new recruits on home safety fire inspections. And also organized and participated in many community events this month. I've been working along with Chief Sutherland as part of the technical advisory committee for the town of Estes. As they try to rewrite the development code. It's gonna be a really long process, but when they ask us to be there, we try to be there and make sure we have our voices heard about landscaping requirements and the new wildfire resiliency code that's coming. Working on finalizing all agreements between all parties to get CWDG work started. Working on an agreement with the Lumber County Sheriff's Department Emergency Services. They're gonna finish out their hand crew season up there, doing some hand work for us. They've committed to 20 acres.
CWDG.
Community Wildfire Defense Grant. That's the grant we received for the Thunder Mountain project. So I will still be working, once we get that going, I'll be working on an RFP to start to put out to bid the rest of the project. Participated in a tabletop exercise last week with the US Bureau of Reclamation, talking about CBT project. They have to do a dam emergency exercise every 4 years, so that was their every 4-year dam emergency exercise. I'm saying that with the correct inflection on a dam emergency. Anyway. Set in on that as part of their requirements. As interesting, the scenario they threw out was 4,000 cubic feet per second coming down the Big Thompson above Lake Estes because of a rainstorm. That's a pretty significant event, if you can only imagine. So we worked through the details of that. I went down and presented at the last Big Thompson Watershed Health Partnership meeting just to talk about our wildfire risk reduction program. They asked all the partners in that organization to come to a monthly meeting and present on their part of the partnership. So that was a good discussion with them. They are also working on a RAP program, wildfire ready action program. That's almost complete. So we've been a part of that discussion and we'll get that document when they get done with it. Also been participating in the hazard mitigation plan update that's going on. Lever County is coordinating. It's gonna take a while. They had their kickoff meeting last month, and they are starting to do some of the research and some of the documents, so that'll be kind of ongoing for quite a while. I think I've had this on the last one, I didn't remove it, but we are part of a larger CWDG grant with the Big Thompson Watershed Health Partnership. It looks into a larger area in the Big Thompson watershed, so we are a piece of that. It's a really big ask, and we'll see what comes of it. I'll just get stations and apparatus.
So does anyone have a question? Chief Lynn?
Yeah.
Real quick, Chief, the scenario they threw at you, how does that compare to the flooding that we had years back?
That was discussed quite a bit. They talked about, and I've heard various reports on what the CFS was. As little of a nutshell as I can say, Olympus Dam at Lake Estes is not a flood control dam. So whatever they get in, they have to let out. During the flood of 2013, they said they were letting out 5,300 CFS. So that's a lot.
More than that.
What's that?
It was more than your 4,000.
So it's always an interesting discussion. Most of the partners are in there. There's not so much on the response side, but more on Bureau side and their planning and their, what actions they need to take when and all those things. They're also very cautious about the security of that facility. So they're very cautious on who gets invited and who gets shared the emergency action plans and all those things. Our emergency manager for the town, which is Ian Stewart, and the police department will get the updated emergency action plan directly from the Bureau.
Thanks.
Any other? I just want to say maybe two things. He took me somewhere, I had to put sturdy shoes on for it. Want to tell me the names of the places?
Yes, so we went to the fish hatchery project site and the Frosted Mountain project site.
And I have to say, I was super impressed with the work you all are doing. I got to walk around a little bit. I think it pointed out to me, so I was really impressed with the work. So good job. And I'd like to go out again, as more progress is made, because I like putting on my sturdy shoes. Also, I want to thank you, Chief Landcamer, because you're doing a lot of extra things in addition to the incredible work you're doing in the prevention division. In particular, you have been and will continue, obviously, to be doing a lot of work on the budget. And so I just want you to know that we really, really appreciate the great work you're doing on that, because we know that it's way above and beyond Call of Duty for you. So thank you. All right.
Couple more.
Oh, you have more?
Oh, there's more. Yeah.
Oh, please, go ahead. That's why I'm asking you about that. Please.
I'm just gonna cover station apparatus quick and get that out of the way.
Okay.
We installed preemption devices on all the heavies. So everything on this side and the two tenders now have preemption devices. So when they hit the two stoplights, street lights downtown, it will change them to green in their favor. That was a decision that was talked about in the development of the LIV, that'd be a good option. So we did talk them into putting that. divide those devices in those two streetlights. So we just now finally got the preemption devices on our apparatus. And we'll
Great.
spec that out going forward, so we continue to have apparatus. It just makes it safer for everybody, gets everybody somewhere to go. Instead of stop dead at a red light, with full traffic. Ground and aerial apparatus ladder testing will be occurring in October, coming up here in a couple of weeks. And we also replaced the scene lights on engine 72. I know it's been a point of contention for a while. They're LED now and they should last a long time. And that was all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Given that there was a little bit more and I preempted that, does anyone have any additional questions? Go ahead.
Thank you. So for the outside, calls for service always, continuous steady increase. Year to date, right now, we're at 623. Year to date last year, 572. So we're about 50 call increase as we're continuing through. I just did some rough numbers, obviously with the tourist influx, right? Maybe not keeping that speed. But I just kind of projected us around 840 calls this year. So we're up about 70, 80 calls from last year for calls to service up this year. Some significant calls. August 29th, Estes Park Lumberyard Fire. Just real quick, I was there very early as the first companies were getting there. The tactical decision making, the things that the firefighters did, the officers, the decisions they made, changed that environment for the better. Their training and experience showed, the right things were done. We can't obviously stop the damage prior to the fire, right? But, everything we did post-fire and arriving, they did an amazing job, so I continue to praise them for that. 23 personnel arrived on the scene there. From dispatch to the first engine arriving was 9 minutes and 38 seconds for that. Just Thursday, we had a significant event on Highway 34 at Evergreen Point. Motor vehicle accident with extrication. One of the vehicles about 50 feet down the ravine, partially in the water. So again, great showing. Heavy extrication, life-saving efforts, 2 critical patients. Dispatched, the first apparatus there was 16 minutes. This was about 2 o'clock, in the afternoon. 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 18 personnel total, responded there. So again, hats off to the crews that responded there. Both went without incident and, both were mitigated with professionalism. So I thank them all for that. Staffing, really no changes to report, same numbers. Personally, I got to go to the fallen firefighter memorial in Colorado Springs Saturday. I was able to represent Estes Fire. I was also able to attend to a past coworker at my previous employer who died of occupational cancer. They were able to put his name on the wall and represent a flag to his family. So if anyone's never been, please attend. It is humbling. Very impactful. So I was able to do that. So thank you. Projects. Again, my whole motto is faster, safer, and smarter. Anytime I come here, what can we do to make us faster, safer, and smarter? So evaluate operations, guidelines, overall effectiveness, and delivering the highest level of service. So with that, OGs and policies that relates to fire inspection gear program, NFPA 1851 kind of guides us. Looking at our respiratory protection program, and along with our passport accountability tag system, all relevant to NFPA 1500. So those are kind of some big projects that will take some time, but much needed. So operation wise, that's really it. Training, week 7 of Fire Academy is complete. So the exterior portion is complete. We have 1 student that is not going to continue on through interior at this point. So we're down to 10 that will complete the rest of the 7 weeks. First day of Interior Academy started on the 18th. So we're starting week 8 coming up for that. Continuous challenge, continuously preparing our members through department training. Here recently, we focused on scenario-based evolutions where, it's all happening at our training facility. It's not staged, it's not preemptive or responding in from the station or stage locations in the community to respond to a fire, true live fire scenarios. Really focusing on coordinated fire attack and first in officer decision-making skills. We did a live fire last week and, it went well. A lot of lessons learned, a lot of good things and lessons reinforced that we're doing well. Firefighter Rachel Briere, attended Women in the Fire Service Conference at Ames College. She came back with a grin ear to ear and still smiling. It was amazing. So I'm glad we were able to support her and send her there. And lastly, not Logan. Several out-of-department trainings are scheduled over the next few months. We have a nozzle forward class, it's a hose advancement movement water application class a few of us are going to. There's also an NFPA 1403, the fixed facility live fire certification class is coming up. And then a lot of us are going to the annual State Chiefs Conference as well. So with that, I would love to entertain any questions about Austin training.
I have a question. You mentioned respirators before, something.
Respiratory protection guidelines. Yep.
So in the world that I came from,
Yes.
that everyone that used those had to be fit tested annually.
Yep.
Do you have to do that? And is everyone that uses those up to date?
There is a plan to fulfill all those requests. Yes, including a medical questionnaire. It's going to change the way we've done things in the past. I want the plan solidified and perfect before we roll out. But yes, you are correct. Fit tests, either quantitative or qualitative. Usually a medical exam required there,
Right.
and usually a doctor for a spirometer test because we are in respiratory. My goal is to meet those standards to bring us up to speed sooner than later on all those.
Any other questions?
So we're not up to speed on that?
That's correct, so.
How long have we not been up to speed? No idea.
I've been here since May.
Right.
So since before you.
Can I add?
If
something to
any
that?
experience, other folks who've been here longer may have, is there anyone in the audience listening here?
I know we did receive a fit test equipment through a grant. We've got that calibrated, but it needs to be calibrated every year over to use it. So again, having a program written will help us actually be able to utilize that equipment or whichever avenue we choose to go with that program.
And then there's a medical clearance or medical questionnaire form that we can do in-house and vet. Depending on some indicating markers, they would then require a physical. The spirometer test would have to be done through a doctor or a occupational health or
Physician
something.
has to sign.
Right, so there's some other, right, there's gonna be some monetary value. How are we gonna address those needs? How are we gonna incorporate everyone getting to those appointments? And again, we are set up with exterior and interior, so we need to define who's wearing the respirator. Although exteriors can fight car fires and dumpster fires, which they're both equal, they're both dumpsters, right? Our policy should reflect that they're on air. So is it the whole department? So there's a lot of logistics that I'm laying out. I do have the medical questionnaire. I do have the standard to follow. How to make it work for Estes Fire. Some training on the equipment. Chief and I, we've looked at the equipment. We have the equipment. It does need calibrated. There's a cost to that. We have an amazing auxiliary. There's a couple sitting out here. We have an amazing auxiliary that could go through training and be able to do that for us. That way we could cycle people through. They're handling our gear and doing amazing things for us. So a lot of plans, but nothing to roll out yet. Again, it's a pretty big leap.
When did we get that grant? To do that?
We got the grant for the machine,
Right, oh, okay.
not a program,
grant.
not anything. We got a
Yeah, we
grant for a
just-
machine.
Okay.
Chief.
That was
Chief Wolf
Years ago.
obtained that.
Before
And what is,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, what is the timeline that you see, it being to get up to speed where we are meeting the requirements?
With workload and everything, I don't wanna overpromise, I'm gonna say the first thing here.
How does medical exams coordinate with the CSU at the, when they come up we have to go through that every two, yeah, the core testings, does that meet any of the medical standards that are required for the test?
I've never been involved in the core testing, I'm not sure what that entails.
I don't believe the core testing addresses respiratory.
Yeah, the respiratory clearance, as Board Member Robbins stated, it's a separate standalone, right?
It's
Whether it's an
OSHA
N95, whether it's a respirator canister, or whether it's a self-contained. That respiratory medical clearance and those things all tie in together, through NFPA 1500 standards, so. The documents are there, we have some things in place. I have all the information. Just trying to, again, the respiratory protection and the personnel accountability through the passport are right here with me. To get those done sooner than later, so those two fairly large projects that are. I'm counting on this.
You mentioned something about everybody getting to appointments. They have companies that will come up and fit test everybody and do all that stuff, right?
This is separate from fit test.
But do they as well have companies that will come and put them through, so that we're not trying to shuttle people down,
Yeah, I
That's
happen
the
to-
machine,
We can
the,
do-
the machine that we talked about, we got the grant for, that is a
Okay.
fit test machine.
Okay.
We will do that in-house, hopefully some
Okay.
buy-in from the
That's what you're
auxiliaries
talking about.
to
then.
go through
Yeah.
training.
Okay.
Literally, it's a computer. You take a breath, you hold a button. It seals on your face. It gives you a graph and a readout, whether you pass or fail. There's, you bend over, shake your head, you twist, you unloosen, you put it back on. There's several steps
Right,
to get a pass or a fail. And that's part of that standard.
okay.
Yeah, we can
That's
do
what-
that in-house. What would have to go out of house, as Board Member Robbins has stated, would be the spirometer, the medical screening portion. Which I'm hopeful that through occupational health, somewhere, UC Health or somewhere. My past life, we've worked with those companies to do that, whether a discounted rate or a group rate or something. And it's a yearly thing.
Okay.
Sorry for all that help.
No. Any other
Good information. Yeah.
questions for Chief Dunn?
Thank you
Thank
all.
you very
Thank
much.
you.
We don't have a volunteer. So, board subcommittee reports. We have, Hippie and I are still involved in the discussions, that we raised, or the board authorized us to engage in at the last special meeting of board of directors. Had a few delays. One was attorneys all being absent the week of Labor Day, and then again absent last week because of the SDA conference. These attorneys are also very much involved in the Special District Association and their big conference. And I'm gonna ask you to talk a little bit about that in a minute. The EAP, we really haven't done.
I did reach out, I got the contact information, reached out, I've yet to have a conversation with them, but I'm hopeful early this week, we'll be able to have a conversation, so I have some more information. 2 weeks.
And then, the wildfire mitigation subcommittee. Jeff?
Yeah, so, we didn't, meet with the prevention department this month. But Ryan and I did meet and we talked about, what we decided to do was to put our heads together and work on we're formulating like a matrix of sorts where, we can, then sit down with, Chief, Landgamer and, put it, look at what you know, what is the, you know, where are we with the strategic plan that was adopted with 22?
No, there's never
Community
been.
wildfire protection.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there was that other document that actually has some goals and stuff for your department. What was that document? Like you
I think
sent,
that was
you
his-
sent it.
You have
I think that was your presentation.
my presentation.
Yeah.
That I
Okay,
gave
so,
the community and also gave to the previous board.
right, but it actually has some, you know, the goal, your goals. in
Yeah.
there. So, what we wanna, we're gonna put together, like I said, like a matrix. Yeah, well, here's the goals. What have we accomplished so far? What are we gonna, what's left to accomplish and by when? And also in terms of the, revenue and finance. Or expenditures specifically for the, you know, for 1A. So we're gonna put that together. We should have that by next meeting.
Well, thank you so much for working with them and enabling them that together. So you guys will put it together and then maybe come talk to us on board about what you discussed.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Am I missing a subcommittee? I think so. Okay. I know this is sort of not on the agenda, but if we can keep it under announcements or even just sort of, it's not really business, but kind of new business. I just would like, you attended the SDA conference this past week, and I think it was pretty good experience for you. And if you have maybe just a little synopsis of what you've learned.
Yeah, there's 1,500 people. This is the 50th anniversary for SDA. So if you don't know, SDA is Special Districts Association of Colorado. They do a lot of classes, leadership classes and board level classes. They also do administrative level classes. So took kind of a variety of those. Had some good experiences and actually you probably learn more from other attendees. And as far as what we should do and I've got some good information that I will not ready to pass on at this point. As far as where we want to go with our leadership and things. So I think that I would like to see more board members attend. I think it's really good. It's a great opportunity to for learning.
I did try to attend virtually, but I kept getting dropped from the meetings. It would just freeze and it would kick me out and wouldn't let me back in.
Well, most of those classes,
Now
actually, I think
recorded.
all of the classes are recorded and available
Yeah,
through SDA for the next year.
that's what I'm gonna try to do.
So that's probably
Well,
a
thank you
good thing
for-
to go to those.
Thank you for attending, and yeah, I would encourage all of us to try to get on the SDA website and watch some of them. They have them listed pretty clearly in terms of what the topic area is that's being covered. And there were some very interesting topics in this
You
year.
need login credentials to do that.
I think Erica can get you login credentials for that, if, am I right?
Well, you would have,
Am I
it would have to be
volunteering?
from one of the registered people that.
Yeah, so
Right. All right, I will work on finding a way to make sure you gain access to that. Okay. All of you. All right. Anything, any comments, questions about that? All right, is there any new business any board member would like to raise? Items to new business. Keep track of any items to new business.
no old business.
Any old business? No, there is no old business. Okay, so our next then regularly scheduled board meeting, as we discussed earlier, is going to be on October 13th, 2025 at 4:30 PM. And then we will be meeting the second and fourth Mondays of each month and thereafter, but revisiting again at the last meeting on the 27th of October.
So we don't have two scheduled for October.
We have two scheduled now. We have one on October 13th and one on October 27th. So we basically added the 13th.
Second with.
Right.
Yeah. You have that in front of me?
Mine, well, we can get together and see when we can meet with our account. do a budget meeting.
I have to
Chief
get
Lane.
Chief Lane camera, I know he's pretty waist deep in that process as of now, so we can coordinate with him as well.
Jeff, are you prepared for us to adjourn, or are you still checking? the call?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Well, does anyone have any other issue or comment or item of discussion you'd like to raise? All right, then may I have a motion then to adjourn the meeting, please?
Motion to adjourn.
May I?
Second it.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. Motion carried and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.